Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's live broadcast. We've been doing a few of these lately. I've been interviewing people that are going to be sharing the stage with me at the first live training event I've ever done. As crazy as that is, I've been training for over 35 years all over the world, more than 40 countries, but it's always been for a private client. So if you were a part of that company, you could attend the event, and if you weren't, you couldn't. And it was always my desire to do trainings at some point in my career where anyone could come. Doesn't matter what company you're in, what industry you're in, just if you want to be better, if you want to excel, especially anyone in sales or anyone who's an entrepreneur. So in a couple of weeks, we have a training coming up here in Dallas called Connect, Persuade, and Lead. And I have been so blessed to have an incredible lineup of trainers. And I've been interviewing them and enjoying every minute of it. But tonight, I have a special deal because I'm going to be able to bring on someone who's a really good friend of mine for a very long time, and also one of the most gifted speakers I've ever, forget about that I've ever worked with, that I've ever seen. I promise you, if you ever seen him live, you know what I'm talking about. He is just unusually talented. He is moving. He teaches in such a unique way. He moves people to greatness. And he came on tonight, and I'm going to give him the floor here in just a minute, bring him on. But I just want to say, we both spend a lot of time in the network marketing industry. And although Connect, Persuade, and Lead is for anyone, some of the speakers are from real estate industry. Some are from the insurance industry. Some are definitely from direct sales. We have someone who's specialist in AI. We have someone who's a specialist on growing your following on social media. So we're really covering all the bases. But Johnny and I have our roots in network marketing, and we both have had phenomenal lives. I mean, truly incredibly blessed lives financially because of the industry. But the truth of the matter is, about 95% of all the people who join all of these companies globally with huge dreams never get to the point where they're making $5,000 a month. So when we were discussing what could we do tonight to add value, there's a lot of people who are new in this industry, and this is exactly for those people. And or there's a lot of people who've been in it for a long time, and they've never made the kind of money they want to, but they just have it in their blood. And it's almost like you're hitting a slot machine, you're playing a slot machine, and it's not paying off. But you don't want to walk away because you get this feeling that with just one more pull of that arm, you could truly hit the jackpot. So if you're in that scenario where you've been doing it for a couple of years, or maybe you've been doing it for over 10 years and you still haven't gotten there, you know, I was taught by my mentor, there's 3 rules that will help you become successful in anything you're doing. Pay attention, get excited, and never quit. So if you've been doing this for a while and you haven't made $5,000 a month yet and you're still here, the last thing you should be doing is hanging your head. You should be holding your head very high, because it's easy to not quit when you're making 20, 30, 40, 50, 80, $100,000 a month. But if you've been doing it for a while and you're still hovering around 1,000 a month or lower, or 3,000 or whatever it is, you're below what you know you're capable of, then I give you even more of a shout out for still being here. So again, we want to get right to it. We're going to hit you with practical information tonight. And again, I've told you a little bit about who's going to be on with me tonight. Not only is he a phenomenal speaker, he is a exceptional network marketer. He has built a team truly all over the globe. I don't know how many people he helped get to the highest rank of the company, and the company we worked in together for a long time, but it was dozens. It might have been over 100. I mean, he just had people all over the world. He had 2 people that I know of in South Africa where, you know, $1 is like $10, like your money goes very far down there. And he had two different people making over $1 million a year in South Africa. So he's an incredible teacher, an incredible networker, an incredible speaker, and also an incredible friend. So I want to introduce you to my good buddy, Mr. Johnny Wimbrey. Johnny, I'd love it if you could come on and share a little bit about your story, specifically as it pertains to the industry.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marc Accetta. It's always an honor and a pleasure, man. I love the fact that our worlds are colliding on a daily basis right now. That just tells me that something's going on in the atmosphere, man. It was great seeing you last night. I'll see you again in a couple weeks from now.
Yep.
I have been incredibly blessed in the industry of home-based businesses. I'm an entrepreneur from the heart. I eat, sleep, and breathe entrepreneurialism, but more so, at this stage of my life, and I would say even after the first decade of being a home-based business, what I would call, maybe a professional, is when it transformed for me is when I got more excited about seeing people walk the stage, seeing people level up in life, level up in their commissions, level up, in who they are as a woman, as a man, as an entrepreneur. That became more exciting for me, being able to see, someone walk the stage for the very first time. I entered this industry February the 11th of the year 2000. And anytime you can remember a date, like almost down to the even time of day, 25 years ago, you have to understand that decision was something that would change your life forever. Like if you can remember a day 25 years ago, it had to be significant. Something significant had to happen. Well, on February the 11th of the year 2000, I got a phone call from a friend of mine named Dan Hernandez. He was a police officer, but he was also, we sold home security systems together. And he called me and he said, "Hey man, I want you to check out my website." Now this is the year 2000. So I'm already jealous this dude has a website and I don't. The only reason I went to go look at what he was sending me to is because I was jealous. I'm like, how do you have a website? We sell home security systems together. I don't have a website. So it was his way of that, like the strategic way that he used me to go see something without being a salesperson or trying to, convince me. And I was the guy that I was trained, by the owners of the companies that I represented. Like, hey, Johnny, you're talented, you're gifted. People are going to see things in you. They're going to try to recruit you and distract you. And they already started to train me to be focused. So I was the guy that if you tried to recruit me into network marketing, I would stamp Amway on your forehead and pyramid on your butt. Like in my mind, I would label you, right? But Dan was different. Dan sent me to a website. He sent me to a system. He sent me to something that was bigger than him. And the website started talking. And then Mark, listen, as if it were yesterday, these are the words. The internet's going to create more millionaires this year than any other source in the world. What?
Yeah.
The internet's going to create more millionaires this year than any other source. It didn't say industry. It said source. And I'm like, I'm not on the internet. And Dan is. And I'm getting left behind. On that day, I called up the Fort Worth City Credit Union. And I cut up all my credit cards probably about 8-9 months before that. I went to a church, a revival. I cut up your credit cards, get out of debt. I cut up credit cards, but I didn't pay them off, but I cut them up. There was one credit card that was still active, Fort Worth City Credit Union. And Mark, I called them and I convinced them to give me my 16 digits over the phone.
Wow.
So they gave me my 16 digits over the phone. I signed up $929.95. I was $150,000 in real debt.
Wow.
At 25 years old.
Wow.
And that decision changed my life forever. So I want you to understand, if you're listening to me right now, we're talking about taking people to 5K a month, consistently 5K a month, right? You got to understand that those people are out there. There are people who are hungry. There are people who are open. You gotta approach them differently. There are people who can't even afford to join your business, but if you approach them the right way, if you play the right song at the right time, you'll find a Johnny Wimbrey. And now fast forward 25 years later, with your help, I've been able to be a part and very instrumental in over 50 people to make over 7 figures.
Yeah.
Hundreds
It's
to make
incredible.
multiple 6 figures. Thousands to make, a nice part-time income. To build an organization while you're having fun by helping people. Over 1 million customers and distributors in over 60 countries around the world. And I was just having fun. I was focused on having fun. And here's what I love about like what you bring to the table, Mark, is there's something about your voice. There's something about your authority. There's something about your heart and your passion for people that no one feels like you benefit from their success. And to me, that's a great leader. When you benefit from someone else's success, but they don't feel it. I don't feel like you ever benefited from my success, but you've made millions because of helping me. And that's a great leader. How can you be that great leader that benefits from someone's success and they don't even feel it? All they feel is your heart. And that's something that makes you unique to me.
Well, thank you, brother. Well, I mean, I'm excited to dive into this, and to what you're saying right there. I think that's part of the reason why people aren't making $5,000 a month. If you're recruiting a team and your team thinks that you're looking at them like your possession or your, you know what I mean? And they almost resent that you're making, boy, is that a bad position to be in? And it's not them. It's the way a lot of people don't look in the mirror. And I'll say there's so many things. I would assure you, if you're not making $5,000 a month, you're probably not doing a lot of personal development. So you're probably doing a lot of things that's irritating people, and you don't even realize you're doing it. I think about a Labrador Retriever who's wagging his tail because he's so excited to see his owner. And he doesn't know that tail behind him is knocking shit all over the place. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people don't understand investing in themselves and learning personal development. Or let's go back to how you started. So your buddy, was his name Dan?
Dan, yeah.
So when Dan hooked you to look at his website, I mean, I'm guessing someone trained him how to do that, right?
At that time, I didn't know, but immediately I was plugged into a system, and then I was able to like trace the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. I could put it back together. Like, that's what he did to me.
Right. Yeah. Which is exactly the thing I'm trying to say. So I think a lot of people just wing it. And, here's your buddy. And I love what you're saying. I never heard that part of your story. That you were like, no, I don't want to do networking. It's stupid. But because your friend who was new to the industry, didn't really know what he was doing, was willing to follow some basic training, it worked. You know what I mean?
And it worked on someone like me. Like, I was the guy that you give me 10 reasons to join your business, I would give you 20 why you need to get out. Like, and I was good at it. Like, I was just as convincing then. But I was convincing, thinking I was helping people. Like, I was helping save people from this crazy industry that's going to distract them from life. And here I am, 25 years later, saying, thank God for people who distract people. Like, he distracted me from a path that there's no way I would be able to look at you and say, like, we've been on private cruises in Tahiti. Like, we've been, like, you and I, we've been to, Australia together. We've been to, Zimbabwe. We've been all over the world together. But if Dan didn't make that call, you got to erase me from the entire industry.
Yeah. And that's what's crazy. A lot of people, let's face it, they feel uncomfortable, especially if they think, and this is, again, I think this is another thing. It's a concept called recruiting up. And in the beginning, just to give you an idea, a lot of people, like, they make their list of people. And nowadays, maybe you're messaging them instead of on social media, instead of calling them. It doesn't really matter. If you should be making a list and you should be reaching out to people. Why wouldn't you do that? You know what I mean? You have a connection with them. But I remember when I started, like, there were people on my list who I think, okay, they're going to do what I tell them to do. There's other people that I think were about equal. I'm not sure. And there's other people I was afraid of. Their success was so overwhelming that I was intimidated to contact them. And then when I went to training, they said, well, you need to recruit up, because if you keep recruiting down and you keep talking to people that you feel superior to and you're not even doing very well, then who the hell are you recruiting? Right. On the other hand, when you talk to people who have a lot of talent and ability, you may be intimidated by them, but don't make yourself the issue. That's called, my mentor used to say, get yourself out of the way. He said that over and over again, and let your person see the opportunity. Just get yourself out of the way. And then again, recruiting someone like you, I don't know again who Danny was, but I would imagine.
I'll tell you who Dan is not.
Yeah.
Dan.
You. Yeah.
So he never did anything after the first 4 weeks. He disappeared.
Wow. Isn't that wild?
Isn't that crazy?
Talk about God using people in great ways.
And here's the thing. The only way you can get to 5K a month is if you subscribe to the mindset that I didn't join this for anyone else but me. Like, I didn't start for Dan.
Right.
So I never needed his permission to pass him up.
Yeah.
You will never, ever achieve the level of success that you truly can, truly desire in life, waiting on somebody else's permission.
Yep, I get that. So with you, Johnny, I know you pretty well. I would, you had a lot of success pretty quickly, right? Like
I did.
Yeah. Which is just so you know, I want you to say what happened to you in the beginning, but this is extraordinarily unusual. So don't think this.
I know. And it's crazy. I'm glad you prompted it like that, because I don't tell this story a lot, because it's not duplicatable. And I'm 25 years in, and I've not met anybody who has done it before. And I would love somebody to reach out and say, hey, I know somebody who has done it. I'd love to interview that person, because you're talking about without social media, without, the things that are in place right now where you can create massive duplication. And I did it in my city, like Dallas, Fort Worth. I didn't have a team anywhere else. I joined on that day, February the 11th of the year 2000. I was $50,000 in debt, like in real debt, like credit card debt, like it needed to be paid. I was 2 months behind on my car note, 3 months behind on my home. I just got married. So it was a different Johnny. It was a desperate Johnny. It was all in Johnny. It had no choice. And I made over $100,000 my first 90 days in the industry.
Wow.
Now, I know people who have made $100,000 in the industry, in a company in their first 90 days. But I want you to understand something. I never had a distributor number. Mm-hmm. I've never, as a matter of fact, the first presentation at network marketing I've ever seen was the company your mentor owned. And I was in acting school, and I was invited to it. I actually went. I went for a job interview because I was in acting. I didn't want to miss auditions, so I wanted to be in sales, and that was my first exposure. But I never signed up.
Wow,
I couldn't. I was not confident. It was the office in Bedford, Texas, if you know where that is.
Yeah, I was, and we drove past that the other day. I used to go over there all the time. That was my team. You would have been on my team.
If you were to ask me where the first time I ever thought I saw Marc Accetta, it would be that day. I can't confirm it, but I thought I saw you that day. But this dude said he showed up in a helicopter. So I don't know. I was 19 years old, man. This guy, he was from the East Coast. He got the same swag. He probably was in your team. But all I can say is this, man. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. You know what it was?
Yeah,
I saw it and I got excited.
Yeah.
But I never engaged. Right. But the first time I ever put money on a network marketing company, building a business, the first time I ever pulled out a credit card, from that day, I made $100,000 in 90 days. Wow. Now, there are several people in my team that were making $5,000 a week. Wow. Several. There were many making $5,000 a month. And to me, that was a great feeling. And I remember when everybody else's check started slowing down, but mine didn't. And I felt guilty about it. I felt guilty because my check didn't go down and other people's did. It's because I kept engaging, and I didn't understand. So I did have a fast story, but that was a 10-month run. Yeah. And it would take me, that was to the year 2000. It wouldn't be until 2005 that I would find something that I could run with. And that was a 15-year run. From 2005 to 2019.
Yeah.
That was my run.
Yeah, that's a good run, buddy. Unfortunately, in our business, nothing makes me more joyful than when you meet someone who was in one company. You know what I mean? And I know, unfortunately, that's not the case for a lot of people. But, you know, it just is the way it is. So, again, let's talk about it. So, you know, being teachable is very important. You know, I think a lot of people are unteachable. They think they already know how to do something. You know, if Gordon Ramsay was going to show me how to make whatever his what's his famous steak in the pastry, I can't think of what you call it. Anyway, if he's going to show me his famous recipe and he tells me what to do and chop up onions this way and put in mushrooms that way, I'm not going to go, yeah, I'm going to leave the mushroom. I don't like mushrooms. You know what I mean?
Put the oven on 325 and you're like, I think I'm going to do 375. Like just that little.
Yeah. But it's crazy that you have people who are masters at doing something and all you have to do is paint by numbers, right? That's why you have a recipe book, for God's sakes. And still people need to change things. So if you haven't gotten to $5,000 a month yet, the first thing I would say is find someone who knows what the hell they're doing. Find an upline who has proven success and just stick to them like glue. You know, I talk about the gentleman who was my mentor, but he did become my mentor, like face to face, like he coached me and guided me. But it took almost 2.5 years for that to happen. For the first 2.5 years, I was just going to seminars, watching him on stage, paying the money, buying every video he had, every audio. Back then, the audios were on audio cassette. I listened to it so many times that tape snapped. Three of the tape snapped. So I was highly, highly teachable. And I'm sure, Johnny, I mean, isn't it frustrating when you get someone who comes in with a tremendous amount of talent and they just won't listen, man? That is probably one of the biggest things I would say stops people from getting to their first $5,000 a month.
You know, I'm going to say something that most people in our world who are stage people, they would probably get offended for me to say this, but I know that I'm right when I say it. You know, there are people who reach out to me and say, hey, Johnny, I read your book. You're my mentor. Or I watched this video. Or I took your course. You know, you're my mentor. No, I'm your inspiration. A mentor is someone who has access to you. A mentor is someone who can shake you. A mentor is someone who can say no. Like you can't say no to my book. You can't say no to my course. Like a mentor has to be able to say no to you. And that's what I love about the hands-on, atmosphere that you bring and having hands-on. Like I could call Marc Accetta. I remember, I think we were in Italy or we were somewhere, and I said, I need to talk to you. And I came up to your room, and I think we spent a few hours together, in your room just talking. That's a mentor. And so when people can have access to you in real time and they can see your eyes, they can see what you're thinking. And that's why I don't know that I would have achieved the level of success that I've ever achieved if I wasn't able to build from event to event, from training to training, from an experience to an experience.
Yeah. And it's the one thing I see in the industry, and I know we're different. Like when you and I had our run together, we were doing a big event in every major market every 90 days. And a lot of companies truly, I mean, the bottom line is they just don't want to go to the expense. They do one big event a year. A lot of companies have gone to doing what we're doing right now. I mean, the truth is doing a live event is expensive. I'm doing a live event coming up in Dallas. We'll definitely tell you a little bit about that in a couple minutes, but I mean, it's anything but cheap. I'll just tell you, whenever you look at what the ticket cost is to go to a live event and you start adding up the people in the room and you figure the cost of the ticket, let me just tell you, in this day and age, no matter how high that number is, the person probably spent more than they took in. It just is the way it is.
I'll go to another level. I guarantee you, it's the least expensive, or how can I say that? It is the cheapest ticket that they will ever be able to get for the future.
Yeah.
Like this event
Yeah,
will
we
be
priced it very cheap. Yeah,
and it will never be this cheap again.
Yeah, and we did it because we want to, it's the first time I've ever done it.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the minute I called Johnny and told him I was doing it, he immediately volunteered. I didn't even have to ask you, brother. It was so very cool of you.
In Dallas, I got excited.
Yeah, I mean, and but that's the cool thing is we've known each other a long time. We probably went a few years without seeing each other very much, but now it's just like we never missed a beat, you know what I mean? And it's an honor to have you at the event. And again, it just to me, the event we're going to do is called Connect, Persuade, and Lead. Will you put that slide up? Let me just get this out of the way. I hate selling stuff, honestly. But if you look here, you can see Johnny is there. My wife is actually there. She did a speech about 6 months ago, and I was so blown out that I really wanted her to talk about something I know she's an expert at. We have a couple of top real estate professionals, a couple of incredible insurance. All of these people are seven-figure income earners. They are just spectacular. A lot of people know Ray Higdon, my friend Lisa Grossman. I do want to point out Lauren Lahav. My wife is at an event with Lauren right now, just 10 women in an intensive training with her. And a lot of people, of course, know Tony Robbins, and you probably know he has his main program, UPW, and Unleash the Power Within, You Walk on the Fire. And then the next program is Date with Destiny. And if you've ever gone that, it's $5,000-$10,000 to go to it, but it's life altering. It's incredible. And then the event beyond that is called Life Mastery. And believe it or not, I didn't even know this. That's done in Fiji every year. And Lauren, the pretty blonde lady in the middle there, Lauren has been co-facilitating that program with Tony for 30 years. Like she teaches with Tony. Like what the, like if you're on stage doing half the event with Tony Robbins, your level of badassedness is at a different level. So Johnny, I mean, we're over delivering with the speakers. I mean, I just, I made sure I had enough time to say what I had to say. But other than that, I wanted to fill it up with the best people we could possibly find. Now, I will tell you, it is not a sexy name. I should have come up with a better name. All my marketing friends are beating the shit out of me. But I'm a technique guy. Like, I don't want to motivate you. I don't know about you, Johnny. When people call me a motivational speaker, it actually is almost insulting because anyone can motivate someone, but not everyone can educate someone. Yeah. And if I wasn't taught how to connect, how to fill my sales funnel, how to come up with people when I run out of people, I would have never lasted in the business. Persuasion, I mean, if you can learn how to sell one more house a year or one more policy a year or one more, I mean, just getting a little bit better with your closing percentage can make a gigantic difference. And then everything rises and falls on leadership. I think one of the biggest things missing in our whole country nowadays is real leaders. People have the conviction to say what they really think, not worry about getting canceled. You know what I mean? Just say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So everyone who's speaking is a badass. We're going to have a bunch of keynotes. We're going to put a bunch of these people on panels to talk about each three of these things. I'll guarantee you, when you leave this event, you will have everything you need to know how to be significantly better than you are right now on all three of those. Now, to Johnny's point, the price of this event is ludicrously low. The price is $599. When I showed that price to Curtis, who was at the event last night, Curtis also works with Patrick Bet-David for years, and he looked at me and he was like, "This event's only $600? I thought it was thousands. Like, how is it not thousands of dollars?" And I said, "Well, Curtis, actually, it's not $599. It's actually $299 because we decided that we wanted to make this irresistible where everyone comes. And then, so you've already got 50% off. But what I was going to teach here at the event before we had so many speakers, I really wanted to do a couple hours on color training, personality training. You know, people have heard of DISC, Myers-Briggs, the Enneagram. I really believe our personality training is second to none. And I'm just, with the speakers, I'm not going to have time to teach it. So we are giving people 650, all the color training I have on my website, all of the courses, a personalized AI report, living in full color training, master classes, all of it we're giving people as a gift on top of the entire event for only $299. So if you have anyone who's anywhere nearby Dallas or someone who's willing to get on a plane, it's the amount of money you spend on a plane would still be an incredible value to get everything you see there for just $299. So we're very excited about that. Now, that is a limited time offer to get all of that extra personality training, and the price is definitely a limited time offer. There's the QR code if you want to take advantage of it. I think we're also going to put the link in the bio or in the comments, because some people don't dig QR codes. We just, whatever it takes, but we're getting more and more people signing up. I'm very excited. I'm getting messages, brother, every day from some really cool people that we don't know.
Blast from the past. People think this is going to be a home reunion. We're coming to work, and people are coming thinking it's a reunion.
I know, no kidding, right? But so it's going to be great. Anyone who's been with us in the past, this is just the perfect chance. So remember, it's not network marketing. It's any industry with sales and entrepreneurship. But if you've never met Johnny or I, and you like what we're doing at all tonight, listen, we both live our lives to pour into people so you can be like us. That's what we dedicate their life to. That's what our why is. That's what our mission is. So again, at that price point, I'm literally trying to make you an offer that Don Corleone would say you can't resist. You got to take advantage of this. All right, so there's that. I'm glad we got to that end of the way. I want to let you know about this, but the point of tonight was more so to pour into you. So let's get rid of that slide, please, and let's go back to.
Hey, Mark, I want to say something real quick.
Yeah,
I remember there are times like when I saw events like this, and I think what really propelled me into my future is I would buy the ticket.
Yeah.
And then I would figure out how I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if it was in San Diego, Las Vegas, Kansas City. I knew that if I thought about it, if I made it my business how I was going to get there, then there was going to be about 50% of the chance I was going to make it.
Right.
But if I bought the ticket, I was 100% going.
And especially, Johnny, describing the financial situation, you and I thought I was in bad shape. I was about $50,000 in debt on credit cards and all that junk. But I mean, you were in much worse shape. And,
it's everything.
Yeah. Listen, when you've got a bunch of money, it's one thing. But I borrowed the money to go to my first seminar. I definitely, between the airfare, the hotel, I mean, all of it. And what probably, how you're at an event and you hear certain things and you miss certain things. Well, because there's so much. Well, the one thing I heard at my first event is never leave an event without signing up for the next event.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that stuck in my head. And just like you, I'm like, I bought a ticket every time they put a ticket on sale. So now it was no longer, I was not negotiating with myself a month or two later. I was going, you know what I mean? And I know that if I hadn't taken action when the iron was hot, if you don't get the ticket right away, then it's easy to talk yourself out of it. And here's what I imagine if you hadn't gone to your first event. I know I would have for sure quit.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get off to a fast start like you. I was in the biz for 9 months and I was struggling. I was making less money than I was when I was selling cookware in China and crystal door to door. I was about to be the guy saying this shit doesn't work. And I went to an event, and that literally flipped everything for me because I found someone who taught me exactly how to do it. So that's why I'm so passionate about live training events. I love this. You can tune in. It's easy. You sit in front of your computer, on your phone, whatever. Thank God for technology. But we're never going to connect with you, and we're never going to get your focus the way we need it unless you're in the damn room. And then it's the meeting before the meeting after the meeting, getting a chance to meet Johnny and the other speakers in person. That to me is what makes the experience magical. The information is honestly secondary to that feeling of connection. Don't you think, brother?
No, 100%, 100%. And, being in the room with people who want to win,
Yeah.
Sitting next to somebody in the room that's as hungry as you are, or maybe even hungrier, like that's a contagious atmosphere. Like, so I 100% believe in my heart that it has never really mattered what type of event I was going to. I just wanted to be around hungry people. So it didn't have to match my industry. If I was going to be around people that were in sales, people who talked about how to recruit, how to build relationships, how to lead, how to connect with people, how to persuade. Like if the entire event was called persuade, like that event alone, just that word alone, to be in an atmosphere with people who are there to learn how to be persuasive, how to lead people, how to move people. I have just always been addicted to be around those types of mindsets. So sometimes I just showed up for events just to meet other people that were hungry. And the benefit of that turned into who was on stage. I never really booked and went to events because of who was on stage.
Yeah.
I was there, the curiosity of being around other people who were hungry.
Yeah. I love
people
that.
don't invest in events like this if they're not hungry.
No, and that's true. And I think you'd agree the biggest reason, honest to God, why, I'm a big Nick Saban football fan. And, one of the things he said is mediocre people don't like high achievers and high achievers don't like mediocre people.
Yeah.
And I used to be a mediocre person. I really was. And I definitely became a high achiever. And I would say the biggest difference between in category one and the second category is desire, man. Like truly desire. Like, and now I look back at it, and the only reason, and maybe this will help you if you're not making $5,000 a month. I think everyone has seen at this point the image on the internet of the little kitten who looks in the full-length mirror and they see the reflection of a lion, and it's like, that's so inspiring, right? But my real truth was I was a lion who didn't know I was a lion. And when I looked in the mirror without any bullshit, I saw the reflection of a kitten. So I think a lot of you just don't believe you can do it. Yes, of course, Johnny can do it. Of course, your upline and whatever company you're in can do it. But the bottom line is you can do it too. This is not a talent thing as much as it is a desire thing. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I look at, I not just look at events like this, I look at the purpose of events like this. And again, I believe that, association is everything. For someone like me becomes from, I come from a battered women's shelter, my first memory in life. I was raised around gangs and violence and drugs my entire youth. So pulling myself out of that mindset, part of the process was just being in the room with people who outfought me. And I can't tell you how many events I've served at just to be there for free.
Yeah.
And I know that's not one of these types of events. You're not serving celebrities. They're not going to be in this room, but I have served like coffee. I should probably talk about this more. I've served with holes in my shoes and I wouldn't even cross my legs because I didn't want you to see the bottom of my shoes.
Wow.
And I mean, there was one time I served at an event. So I had to go home. I thought I was going to be put on IV because I was just flushed. And I was in my early 20s. That's how addicted I was to these types of atmospheres. So when I see an event like this come into town, when I see an event with high rollers, like high givers, individuals who have massive success, like Lisa Grossman, like a legend, right? A voice, a voice of eldership that just knows how to create success. Like, I don't have to serve to be in events anymore. But when I see people walking around with purses that cost $10,000, $30,000, you spend more money on your hair, your makeup to impress other people than you do with who you are from the inside out, which basically means we are more concerned with other people think about us than with who we really are. And I'm just saying, listen, I'm not trying to change your budgeting. I'm just saying, switch your budget to you. And this is one of those events where you can say, listen, this event is 3 weeks from now. You didn't plan for it. You didn't know it was going on. You're live right now. You're watching this. You're finding out about this 2 weeks before, maybe even 1 week before, and you make a decision to come, and it changes your life forever.
Yeah.
And I know this is about making 5K a month, but if you can't, how can you get to 5K a month if you can't convince yourself that you're worth investing in to come to an event like this?
Yeah. And again, I go back to who I was, Johnny. I was the guy who was in the room and I just didn't believe in myself. And I learned a lot of how-to information, but the main thing that he got across that weekend was that he made me believe I could do it. You know what I mean? And I think, again, every time I do a seminar, and I've done, over 1 million people in 40 plus countries.
Oh, well,
And, people always ask me what my motivation is. And without any bullshit, whether it's 25 people in a room or 25,000, it's like I'm talking to me. I know there's somebody in this room who has such a strong desire, but just doesn't know how to do it, or they just don't think they're good enough. And I know there's people that are watching this because, truthfully, if you're in the industry and you're not making that kind of money yet, one of the main reasons is you don't believe in yourself. But let me share this with you, because this is a big one. Again, this is one of my mentor's favorite things to say. If you think the way you always think, you'll do the same things you've always done, right? And if you do the same things you've always done, you're going to get the same results. So if you want to change what you're getting, you got to change what you're doing, but you're not going to change what you're doing unless you change what you're thinking. In the Bible, I don't know how many times it says it, but it says it over and over again: repent, 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 repent. And I used to think that meant say, oh God, I'm sorry. And then I realized, how it's been translated from different language. Repent means to renew your mind, to change your mind. Yeah. So a lot of you, and I love what you say, Johnny, the thinking that got you into a situation won't be able to get you out of that. Why don't you talk about that for a second?
It's Professor Einstein who said, and I kind of just paraphrase it and made it in a way to make sense to me, is like, the thinking that gets you into a situation doesn't possess the thinking to get you out. And, he also said that if you do the exact same thing over and over and over and over again, but you expect different results, that means that you're insane. And the way that I visualize it, I'm a visualized person. So if I get up and walk over here and I just start walking around in circles, and Mark says, Johnny, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Get back to the microphone. The people are just watching you. And I'm saying, Mark, I'll be back. I'm going to the restroom. But I'm just walking in a circle. That makes me insane. That's what it is. Like when you do the exact same thing over and over and over again, and the entire world is watching you.
Yeah.
And you're saying you're changing, and you don't understand that you look insane because you haven't done anything different. Yeah. You haven't been around anything different. You haven't invested in the world knows you're not participating in your own declaration. If you declared that 2025 was going to be your breakout year and nothing has changed.
Yep.
Like this is the time. For me, there's no way that, like, I know Marc Accetta. I know Ray. I know Lisa. I mean, I know these people who are going to be on this stage. There's no way, if I wasn't happy with my 2025 and I knew an event like this was coming, I don't care if I was in real estate. I don't care if I was in door-to-door sales. I don't care if I was in high-level leadership. If I was in high-level leadership, I would bring my entire team to this event.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not where I want to be in 2025, my team sure isn't where they want to be. Because I need to get them where they need to be, and I'm not even where I need to be. So this is not the type of event you even show up by yourself. Bring a team. Bring accountability partners, man.
Yeah, we actually have a couple of people who've done that, and that makes me super happy because, again, go back to what I said earlier about one of the first things my mentor taught me is you got to get yourself out of the way. So the analogy we used to always say is, imagine you're getting a golf lesson from Tiger Woods, right? Mm-hmm. He's been playing his whole life. You're just starting. Well, how much of what he taught you in a focused hour or two are you going to really remember? Mm-hmm. And then when you take what you think Tiger taught you and you try to teach it to your kid, you got to be shitting me. You're lucky if that kid is getting 5 to 10%. And that's what happens. So getting yourself out of the way means what a lot of people do is they come to an event like this, they learn the information, they go back and they try to teach it to their people. It's get yourself out of the way. Let us teach your people directly, because if you're in a sales management position or if you're overseeing an organization, them increasing their revenue is what's going to make you more money. And for me, I mean, literally, that's what I've always done is I got my people in front of someone like Johnny. I got my people in someone that I knew would inspire them and train them more than I could. And that's how my check went up. And the crazy thing is then people in our industry go, oh my gosh, you're amazing. Can I take a picture with you? And you're going, shit, I'm not amazing. I just know how to fill a seminar. You know what I mean? I know how to get people in front of the people who know how to make it happen.
You know, Mark, I'm really excited, and this is going to sound crazy, and I'll kind of clean it up after I say it, but I'm excited to see you uncaged. And here's what I mean by that. I've always seen you in one industry.
Yeah.
And I know you've seen me outside of the industry.
Yeah, I have. Yep.
But I've always seen you like, you know, in one, not just one capacity. You're speaking to all levels, like, you know, anybody who's in the presence, but you're catering to one industry. Like to see Marc Accetta uncaged, to speak generically and openly to all entrepreneurs, to all, you know, people who are influencers, people who are brand ambassadors, to see you in this type of atmosphere. I'm actually really, really excited. I can only imagine, you know, how many people, the tens of thousands of people that live within a 20-mile radius of Dallas, that know who you are, that's never even seen you in this capacity. Like, you know, do they even know? And then you have people that are going to be flying in and driving in, and you got people who can drive in 15, 20 minutes and stay at home. Like, what do you say to these people that they know us, and for the first time you're doing an event? Uncaged is not the right word, but you get my point.
Yeah, no, and I love it, Johnny. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of insurance people and real estate. And what I found over the years is everything that you and I know how to teach, and you know this, it applies to any, it doesn't matter what area of sales or marketing. And here's what I love. Universal success principles are universal success principles. I remember one of my all-time heroes, Zig Ziglar, and I remember listening to his tape or reading his book, I forget, and he taught people how to get rich, right? And he said, like, then he went through a phase in his life where he was very successful and he was living a good life, and he basically got fat. And his wife, he calls the redhead, goes, you know, if these successes or these principles work so well, then why don't you apply them to losing weight? Which wasn't, according to him, the most joyous conversation. But then he said, you know what, she's right. And went out the first day, ran for like a third of a mile and was like, forget. And it was the same mental fight. It was the same things he had to overcome. And of course, the story ends great. He ended up getting in great shape because the same discipline it took to get rich is the same discipline it took to get in shape. So that's what we're really teaching. When it comes to connecting with people, what I love is you're going to hear different ways. You're going to have social media ways. The guy who's teaching social has put on 15,000 organic followers in like the last 60 days. I mean, he doesn't just teach it, he does it. But then we're going to have people that are so good at face-to-face. There's a difference. I remember meeting someone years ago said, when you're around Bill Clinton, former President Clinton, when he is talking to you, you feel like everyone else is gone. There's another human being in the room, and you're the most important person in the universe.
That's a really good point.
Man, that is a skill set. So we're going to not just be talking about getting contacts. Anyone can teach that. We're going to talk about really connecting with people and then really persuading people. Because making a sale is cool, but what do you do when your teenage son or daughter is hanging out with the wrong person and they don't get it? man, you better know how to persuade people. So we're going to teach the real shit here. I mean, I'm very excited about it, brother.
I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. I'm very excited. I'm honored to be on stage. I'm honored to be in any capacity, man. I was going to come no matter what. I'm just addicted to this life, and what you've been able, to teach me and teach people that I have brought into your world. I mean, there's no way that I would be able to confidently say, to build $1 billion organization in a 10-year period. Without you, I don't know that I would have done it. Not that I couldn't have done it. I don't think I would have done it, because part of my strategy was you. My strategy was to get people to Marc.
Yeah. Well, we had the bottom line is, I think we both learned along the years, brothers, you have strength and abilities that I just don't have. And, I do a few things well too. And I think that's what another thing to hold people back. They're trying to do everything themselves. And I don't know if it's a ego thing or a fear thing, but like for me, I love connecting with people who have the same, ethics and morals. And it's no problem for me to go, man, you're better at this than me, and partner up with people. Because what is that African slogan? It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You know what I mean? It's like, we really, we're just getting started though, brother. We got a lot more stuff to do, to say the least.
Well, I promise you, man, that what I'm going to bring to this event, nobody has ever seen before.
I love that. And it's again, I know you're getting a feel for Johnny tonight, but like last night I got to say this real fast so we can wrap up. So Johnny was emceeing an event, and it was about learning more about your finances, but it was also just interviewing a really successful person. So was it Damon Wayans? I apologize. Marlon Wayans, the Wayans brothers, right?
Yeah.
Love and Color and all those great movies. And Johnny, first of all, emceed the event. And it's like, Johnny is one of the best people in the world. I mean, dude, you could MC the freaking Academy Awards. You know what I mean? He's just got the energy, and he had the crowd eating out of his hand within the first couple of minutes and making really salient points in a really short period of time. But when we got into the interview part last night, and I forget what he said, it was just so powerful. He said, man, I believe, he has like 9 brothers and sisters, right? They're all in entertainment.
Yeah, and he's the baby boy.
Talking about the kids, right? They're children now. There's like almost 30 of them.
52.
52 or that are entertainment professionals.
He just started spitting it out too. He knew what everybody was doing, where they're headed.
But what did he? I gotta give me 1 sec. I want to get this exactly right, because this is what I'm trying to say. Like, we've done pretty well for our lives, but we're still going to events. You know what I mean? And that is what it's all about. And when he said, his job, what they teach their kids, the Wayans family motto is, you need to be an undeniable force of nature. Like, that blew me out. Like, you know what I mean? Your job is to be an undeniable force of nature, where you're so damn good, people can't ignore you, that you outwork people. And just think about that. If you're not making $5,000 a month in network marketing, your brain set is definitely not to be an undeniable force of nature. So I think a lot of us are just not stepping into what we're capable of. I don't know if it's fear. I don't know if it's fear of failure. But the bottom line, man, is go to trainings. Come to our training, but not just our training. Go to these trainings. Plug into people that have the mindset and borrow their confidence. That's what I used to do with my mentor. Because again, I'm telling you, success is predictable if you use universal success principles. It really is. And it doesn't matter where you are now. And it doesn't matter how many years you've been where you are now. If you want to flip the switch and turn the corner and make the rest of your life the best of your life, then you're capable of doing it. But no one's going to do it except you. So, Johnny, brother, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Any final words, brother?
All I can say is this, count yourself in. Like, anybody can count themselves out. Anybody can justify why they're not going to do something. but count yourself in. It's just a flipping of the switch. It's just like, it's the same energy, but you're putting yourself in instead of justifying why you're not going to, while you may be out. And I just know what I bring to the table. I know what Marc Accetta brings to the table. I know this all-star cast that he's bringing to all of us. And I just think, like, what if Dan didn't call me on that day, February the 11th of the year 2000?
Yeah.
Like, what if I didn't count myself in?
Yeah.
Like, would you guys even know my name today?
Yeah.
And what if coming to this event not just pushes you to your 5K a month of whatever industry, whatever your business you're in, and we want to complement your business. Like, if you're in real estate, we want people to know who you are.
Yep.
Like, there's nothing, like, we're not in competition with you. If you're in insurance, if you're any kind of sales, like, we're your brothers and sisters of success. Like, what Marc Accetta is creating coming out of this event is going to be a full-on circle of family that we want to help build and help, elevate. So if nothing else, come tell us who you are and come tell us how we can help you. And, if we see that you're hungry and you're serious about the connection of being at this event, why wouldn't we want to help you? Why wouldn't we want to mentor you? Because your story is our success, even though we're not financially connected to your industry. So this is what we want to bring, Marc. And this is why I'm a part of it, man, because I know that for the first time, generically, you're going to be in a position to help so many people in so many industries. And this is the inaugural event. I'm excited.
It is. Well, thank you, brother. Thanks for making the time to be on tonight. I know we have people on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. Yep. Please put some comments so we can see what you have to say. And if you like it, please forward it to other people. We're just trying to spread the word out. Of course, we want you to come to the event. But most importantly, man, we just want to get people to at least watch this and take a step forward in the right direction, because there's just no reason, man. We're both living proof. He was born and raised in, or not born and raised, but was in a battered woman's shelter. I wasn't that badly off, but let me tell you, I wasn't doing well either. And if we can do it without any exaggeration, there's literally no reason why you can't live an extraordinary life. We have both been blessed beyond measure and will continue to be, because we learned this system, and you can learn the same dang thing. So thanks for being with us tonight. We genuinely appreciate your time. Jonathan, as always, thanks for taking good care of us and running this. There's the QR code one more time. That is an irresistible offer. Listen, even if you weren't coming to the event, honestly, that $600 worth of training on colors is worth $299 to be really ridiculous. So anyway, that's all we got. Thanks for being here. God bless. Leave us some comments, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Dallas in a couple weeks. Good night and God bless.
Thank you, Marc.
Good night, Johnny. Thank you.